Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 227. I'm Phil Graham. I've got a great episode for you all today. I'm going to be sharing some tips and things that we've done that have helped to get us lower costs on Facebook ads. That's right. Sometimes there's things you can do that could actually reduce the amount you spend on ads that a lot of people don't even know about or realize. And so I'm going to be sharing those things with you today in this episode. I'm recording this on Monday, September 13th, 2021. I hope you guys are doing really well. Hope you had a great weekend. I know we did. I'm super excited that football is back. And yes, the Seahawks had a great win this weekend, so that was awesome. I'm also really excited just for the time of year we're in. It's almost fall, so it's a great time of year, and there's so many opportunities out there. So whether you're already running ads or if you're thinking about doing it, you are in the right place, my friend. I'm glad you're here. I love doing this podcast every single week. So with that being said, if you want to get in touch, maybe you're looking for somebody to actually run your ads for you, somebody that you can trust. So you don't have to worry about it. You can do what you do best. Or maybe you want some one-on-one coaching so you can finally learn how to do it the right way. Well, for either of those things, feel free to get in touch. philgrahamdigital.com is the website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. So with that being said, I want to jump right into the content, keep it short, sweet, and very actionable as usual. And I'm going to start off though with a little disclaimer. So I'm going to be sharing things that we've done and we've tested and we continue to always test throughout the years and now that have really helped us to reduce the cost of ads and get better results. However, doing everything I share doesn't automatically mean that it's going to guarantee you a lower ad cost. There's so many different variables and so many different things that affect it. So I'm going to share what's worked for us and our clients. But obviously I am not one of those fake gurus or scammers that guarantees things that they can't guarantee. Like, that's ridiculous. You guys know that I am not one of those idiots. So just keep that in mind. Test this for yourself and look at the data. But what I'm going to be sharing with you is not stuff that I pulled out of thin air or just thought up in my head. It's stuff that we've actually tested and it's worked for us. It has not been theory. It's been real. So keep that in mind. All right. What I want to start off with first is, what are some of the things that actually affect the cost of Facebook ads? And then we'll talk about how you can potentially lower the cost of your ads so you actually get a lot more for your money than most people. So what affects the cost of ads? There are lots of things that can affect how much ads cost. You know, how many other advertisers are advertising? What time of year is it? Obviously, like during the holidays, prices can get a lot higher. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be advertising. That's a great time to advertise. But you do have to realize that that can absolutely affect the cost. Also, like last year, during the height of COVID, the CPMs and the prices were really low for most advertisers because there was a lot less advertisers, especially, you know, in the beginning and in the summer when nobody really knew exactly what to expect and travel was pretty much shut down, way less advertisers, so costs were much lower. They've rebounded now. Things have been opening back up. There's a lot more travel, even though, you know, we still got challenges with the pandemic, unfortunately. But those types of things obviously affect cost, but there's more. Things like which ad objective you use can absolutely affect the cost of your ads. For example, we have run tests where we'll run the same ad creative, the same audience, the same targeting, the same everything. The only difference was the ad objective. And in some of our tests, one objective will cost twice as much as another. It's not always that big of a difference, but sometimes it is. So ad objectives can absolutely affect the cost of your ads. Who you target, the audiences, and how many other people are targeting those types of people can affect the cost. What kind of engagement you get on your ads can affect the cost. Your click-through rate could affect it, even the quality of your Facebook business page itself. All of these things and more can affect the cost of your ads. And there's some things that none of us will ever know about because it's a well-kept secret, unless you're a Facebook scientist. But for the most part, we have a really good idea of, what affects the cost of ads. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the things that we've done that have helped to sometimes and often many times to lower our costs. So we actually get a much better deal and we get more for our money. So one of my favorite ways to do it is by focusing first at the top of the funnel, where we're targeting people that are not our warm audience. We're targeting people that don't know who we are yet. So sometimes what we'll do at the top of the funnel is we'll use different engagement objectives and strategies that typically have given us a really good cost, a lower cost. For example, I like to use the engagement, traffic, video views, or lead gen, or all of the above at the top of the funnel, because consistently, a lot of times it gives us a much better cost than if we just go straight conversions or something else. So that's something that we've done at the top of the funnel. The strategy being get awareness as inexpensively as possible at the top of the funnel, and then we'll retarget that awareness at the bottom of the funnel. Now, that does not mean that we don't run ads that are conversion ads at the top of the funnel. We do. We run lots of them. That's why it's important to test and look at the data, because you also want to not only look at the cost of your ads, but what's happening on the other side of the ad. What's the ROI? If you're getting a great cost, but it's not turning into an ROI, you obviously need to be working on what happens after the ad. So there's many moving pieces here. So yes, we still run conversions at the top of the funnel. However, when we are getting a favorable cost by running something like traffic or video views or engagement at the top, and it's working well for us throughout the whole funnel, then we ride that horse and get better results and lower prices at the top of the funnel. And that can work extremely well. And then at the bottom of the funnel, we do our normal conversions, reach, and messages and things like that, which sometimes have a little bit of a higher cost. Not always, but yeah, sometimes they do. And we retarget at the bottom of the funnel with those types of objectives. Again, I want to be super clear. We still run conversions at the top. So you do want to kind of play with this and see what the data tells you. Also, the type of ad in terms of the creative can affect your cost. Sometimes a video is a lot more expensive than an image. Is that worth it though? Yes, it could be. And other times it's not. There's scenarios where we're running an image against a video and the video is actually twice as expensive. However, it's working so well that even though the CPM is twice as much as the image, our cost per click is less with the video because it's working so well. So you have to look at many different factors, not just the cost of the ad, not just CPM, but also cost per click, link click-through rate. And again, are those people converting at the end of the day? Those are all important things. Other times an image does better. So again, it's not one of those things where, hey, always do conversions or always do video, never do images. It doesn't work that way. You want to test. My job is to get you guys to realize that testing is the key to your success, and knowing how to test and what to test and also sharing what works for us will hopefully get you where you need to be. So again, to recap, the top of the funnel, we like using different objectives that can get us sometimes awareness at a lower cost. Things like engagement, traffic, video views, and lead gen. And then at the bottom of the funnel, we use reach, conversions, and messages. Although we do still use those at the top of the funnel for testing as well. The next thing that I recommend to test for potentially much better cost is your placements. So I really like to do auto placements. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people just do Facebook only or Facebook and Instagram only. I actually like auto placements. I like Facebook to put our ads everywhere and let Facebook's machine learning and algorithm play with that. And that's worked extremely well for us. There are, of course, times where we do specific placements, sometimes Instagram only, or even Instagram stories only, sometimes just Facebook, sometimes just mobile. Like we do a lot of different tests. But in general, auto placements produces a consistent, good, pretty low cost for us. So I like auto placements. It's definitely something I would recommend testing. And then lastly, the other thing I recommend for potentially better cost is to get better at testing the ads yourself. And this is something that's very important. Most people are not good at this, but every time you run an ad, you should always know either why it did not work or why it did work. There should always be a reason. It's always very clear. So if you're running an ad with like 50 different interests, that's not going to happen, because whether it works or not, you're not going to know why. So you've got to, really be very targeted and specific with what you're doing so that you do know why it didn't work or why it did work, because then you can leverage that and change what didn't work more effectively and do more of what did work. And that's very, very important. So anytime that you're trying to lower your cost, other things can apply as well, like the quality of your creative. Are you really connecting with your audience, with the people that you're targeting? Who you target can make a big difference too. If you target larger, broad audiences, a lot of times you're going to get a better cost than if you target much smaller, highly segmented audiences. However, one thing that's important to note is that I still love targeting small segmented audiences because we can match our ad copy specifically to that demographic that we're targeting. And many times that might give us a much better result. So that's an example where the ad cost itself doesn't tell you the whole story. You have to look at the whole picture. But when you do, you consistently work to test everything you're doing, have great creatives, improve your click-through rates, and reduce the cost of your ads as much as you can, knowing that there's no magic buttons and that there's a lot of variables. But when you do all those things, great things can happen, and they certainly have for us. So I hope this was super helpful, you guys. If you have any questions, make sure and reach out, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. Episode 227 is in the books. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the week, and I will talk to you next time, my friends. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.